in the final third.
Road first team all ACC last year. Sergio Gonzalez is our official in the middle. And we are underway from Louisville, week 2 of ACC men's soccer. Number of games already in action. North Carolina up 1-0 on Notre Dame. We'll get you updates throughout the night as those games progress. There's Gage Guerra. Pops it out to Ethan Subachan, the freshman making his first career start. Looking for Gaetano D'Argento on the overlap. Trying to track this down. Declan Quill, the sophomore, lays it off to Marco Vesterholm. And they have an opportunity here. Cut inside shot, saved by Svetnov. Alex Svetnov asked and answered early. Quentin Elliott almost turned it over, able to get it back, and out to Konstantino Georgilidis. They have an early opportunity there already.
It's not, again, we said they were going to have chances because the way that this Louisville team plays, they like a lot of numbers to start to move forward, and so you'll get Giardento, moving up high. Quentin Elliott possessionally will invert himself into the midfield, so the outside is going to be exposed. The width is going to be everything for this team, but how quickly can you step into the spaces and then challenge? Now it's Svetnov.
Looking forward for Sonder Road, and Timmy Adams, the big 6'7" junior keeper from Atlanta, comes off his line to corral.
Just some of the quality in the final third this season lacking, to be fair, for both teams, although Louisville providing themselves a lot more opportunities. They don't really have that out-and-out 9 like Louisville have the luxury of. Virginia Tech, we mentioned Ollie Roche coming in. And Carter Hensley in transition can get involved. Certainly Declan Quill underneath. I question what that actually looks like. Are they going to go with the 3-man front, kind of play with 2 10s to help clog the middle? Or do you go with 2 strikers, bring a single 10 to eliminate balls into Bradley Sample coming off the back line?
Long throw. Vesterholm tries to bring it down. Popped out wide to Noe Uemana. Plays it in. Josh Jones, the big center back, getting his first start of the year, 16 in red. Dealing with injury issue, but he starts at center back today. And Svetnov off with the punch. Uemana drives into the box, looking for the cutback. And Guerra runs out of room. Theo Drennan back to the feet of Adams. Devin, what are you focused on early in this match? Great distribution by Adams. Come back to that in a second. Mason Tatafu tries to track it down. Quill trying to play Roach. The Cards will possess. What are you focused here early on with these two teams?
I want to see the attitude from Louisville and what they come out with. How much energy do they have? We mentioned at the tail end of the Syracuse game, yeah, they got the lead, but they were bad. Let's call a spade a spade. They were bad all night long, but the character side, to allow yourself to play that poorly and still find a way to get a point, that's great that
against
you can hold that against
the
defending national champs on the road.
Yeah.
To get a point, that's massive. But now you're back at home. It's back to business. This is a game coming in on the schedule, and given the way the results have gone, you've got to feel really good about your chances. So how aggressive in nature are you going to be? Certainly, Virginia Tech are the benefactor of the chances so far.
Georgilidis trying to cut in on that right foot, strikes it high and wide. You mentioned how Louisville played. John Michael Hayden, the coach for Louisville, was very clear, saying we weren't good playing out of their pressure. We can play out of that against Syracuse. We didn't do it well. We were poor, but that was, to your point, a character game. This game, bear in mind, Virginia Tech beat Louisville last year in the ACC tournament, the opening round, the first time a 12 seed ever beaten a 5 seed. And John Michael Hayden did not mince words. He was very clear. Our guys remember that. That stung. They then lost their first round game in the tournament. They ended the season very poorly, and that loss to Virginia Tech hurt. 8 of their 11 starters are back from that team last year. This is a very seasoned group that remembers the fact that they lost last year, but also 4 straight times against Virginia Tech they've taken it out. Grant Howard over to Nilton de Silva. Drennan. 2 Brazilians play to each other and then play out of play. So for Virginia Tech, what would they have to do to win this game? We talked about midfield so far. We already saw an opportunity. What else jumps out to you?
Well, one thing for me is kind of the quality over quantity argument. We don't necessarily know on the attacking front how many chances they're going to be given because of Louisville having the ball so much. So can you take advantage when maybe you only get 3 or 4 good looks overall at the game? And then the width. The width to me is going to be a big one. We talked Kinua and Vesterholm, the two central midfielders controlling the temple. Well, most of the space that's going to be available is immediate distribution out on the wing. So you get the ball on the turnover, you stretch this team wide, you make them chase you. That allows you to make the decisions for yourself as opposed to chasing the game, which is what Louisville want you to do.
There's Mike Brizendine, the manager for Virginia Tech, 15th season. Before last year's tough year when they didn't make the NCAA tournament, they had gotten to 6 straight tourneys. They were one of only 5 programs in the nation to have done that. Overlapping run by Bradley Sample. Second bite of the cherry to play it in. Falls to the feet of Sandra Rode. Elliott. Driving! Goal! What a start again for the Cards! The sophomore. His second career goal at a big time, his first goal in an ACC conference game.
But possessionally, he understands it, Quentin Elliott, what's asked of him. Starting at the academy level with the Columbus crew, they want him on the ball. More importantly, when he's on it and he inverts, they want him to challenge the space in front of him. Watch the little cutback to the inside. He's got a decision to make. And more importantly, he makes the defense adjust to him. Run over the left side. He's got options to the right, but he's got a ton of space to step into. Just tees this thing up, puts it on an absolute platter into the upper corner for the early lead.
They have been great early in games. They started last week on the road, and Syracuse scoring the 11th minute. Here in the 6th minute, Quentin Elliott opens his ACC conference account at a huge time. Mike Brizendine was really clear. We got to have shutouts. We have to get shutouts to win games. We've started to score goals. Was that more poor defending or just Elliott making a great play?
It's early on. You're rattled a little bit. It's really the first time you've been deep. You're trying to organize. Great strike by Quentin Elliott, but there are plenty of players that could have stepped up into that space. Options or not, as a center back, whether it's Howard, Drennan, or De Silva, and certainly the first two in Drennan and Howard, you got to communicate there. Say one of us has to go because you've got the marks, but the most dangerous person is going to be the guy on the ball about 22 yards out, and he made you pay.
Did he ever? So Cards are up 1-0. They come in to this game third in the conference in goals scored, 12, now 13. Mason Tatafu looking long, the transfer from Hofstra, former All-Colonial Conference player. Long ball, Quill trying to run it down. Battling with Tatafu, and Sergio Gonzalez, it's a foul. Mike Brizendine's crew, we're going to learn quite a bit about them on the road down a goal just minutes in.
This reminds me a lot, though, what's going on at Virginia Tech of the Louisville team of 2021. You know, coming off of COVID, you've got a ton of young talent coming into the program. For John Michael Hayden, he really hadn't seen continued success off of the Ken Lola era. Ken Lola wins the ACC tournament in 2018, then departs the program. And although John Michael Hayden was already here, you basically get a small sample size in 1 year, and then it's COVID. And it's the breakup of the seasons. It messes with recruiting, the rhythm of the program itself. So 2021 was a real big question mark for them, and they were tested a ton. But now you're starting to see the fruits of their labor start to pay off for Louisville. Virginia Tech is kind of following that same path. The question for Mike Brizendine is just going to be, how long does it take to get everybody going in the right direction?
You just saw John Michael Hayden right there, and was a great player in his own right, 2-time national champ at Indiana. Local product, though, grew up in Louisville. Won the MLS Cup his rookie year when he was drafted the first round, 2007 with Houston. He's had success at every level. He thinks this is going to be the best team ever in Subachan that he's ever been part of at Louisville. That includes as an assistant. Thinks very highly of this team and thinks they're just starting to scratch the surface, and that will be a foul. And a little extracurricular after the fact there for David Bacuzzo. Sergio Gonzalez going to have a little word with Feneritis here. Feneritis, the freshman from Cyprus. Each team has one player from Cyprus, Feneritis, and then Georgalitis.
You better believe they've crossed paths at the youth national team level, though. Feneritis also involved with the Russian Federation. That's still not allowed, by the way.
No, you can't do that.
No.
That's just in. Yeah, Fedoritas played both for Russia and Cyprus as a youth national team player. For his club in Cyprus, played part of the Youth Champions League setup as well. Popped out to the goal scorer, Elliott. Up to Georgalitis, the other Cypriot on the field, looking for Guerra. They call for Adams to come off. He scoops.
Just so comfortable on the ball, Louisville. When they have that positive mentality of everything on the half turn, the first ball, the ability to not just maintain possession, but actually do something with it. It's something they struggled with last time against Syracuse. You mentioned the pressure and being able to bypass it on the road against the defending national champions. I agree with that. But in order for them to play the way that they want to play, they got to be on the ball more. And already, just inside 10 minutes of this game, you're seeing it where they spread the ball wide. There's bodies within the midfield. Then all of a sudden, boom, ball up over the top. They stretch you. They give you so many different looks. It's hard to find a consistency of what that tendency is going to be coming at you.
Mason Tatafu called for the foul, went right through the back of Declan Quinn, a junior from Virginia. Quick restart. Kenua on the ball. One of the leaders of this team, one of the fifth-year guy, an App State transfer, 8 and white. He's been there for the successful years that went to the tournament. He's been through these lean years they went through last year, but still hopes of turning it around this season. There's Kenua looking for Roche. He's going to find him. Played it in the middle. Dangerous ball, but Tatafu is there.
Felt bad for Mike Brizendine talking about that with Kenua, and he was like, think about what this guy's seen. I mean, he's seen a top 10 ranking. He's seen a team that, has gone on to the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament just a couple of seasons ago.
They played with Danny Pereira, the number 1 pick.
Danny Flores lost Danny Pereira. Yeah. I mean, he's seen and done it all. So I'm sure he would love to experience a little bit more towards the end of his collegiate career that has been great so far here in Virginia Tech.
First corner of the game for the Hokies. In-swinging ball by Feneritis. Subachan. Well done by Kenua. De Silva. Little flick, first time shot. Svetnov is there, though. Crafty footwork from the big center back to get it out to Roche. Or Quill, excuse me. Bradley Sample, an absolute staple in the midfield. 75th game he's played in a Cards jersey, 13 in red, 70 to start. And there's Jones. Jones' ball to Tatafu, sends him running. He is going to get there. Tech trying to press this. Sample in some space. Looking for Georgalitis. Uimana and Drenner there. Out into the Louisville night. Give you a little break to tell you about women's sports. They take over the afternoon every Sunday here on ACC Network. This week starts at noon Eastern with volleyball. North Carolina hosts Coastal Carolina. Then Pitt squares off against NC State in soccer. And we cap the afternoon with BC and Merrimack in volleyball at 4 Eastern here on ACC Network. How about the Justin Timberlake during the throw-in? It felt like we were in an NBA game all of a sudden.
Amazing. DJ was quick to walk away from it, though.
Very quick. Out. Ball was in play. We're done. And D'Argento can't control the pass. An unforced error there. Pinged over to Uimana. Low ball driven and deflected out, and Svetnov keeps it in play, though. Avoids the corner. Headed out by Jones. See Uimana, the freshman from Texas, but grew up in the Union Academy. Heavy challenges in the midfield there. Gage Guerra pressing. Back to Drennan. Two Brazilians play it back and forth. Grant Howard up to Uimana. Oh, nice touch. Can he win this foot race? He can't. Elliott, well done. Bakuzo steps around trouble. Driving forward, is eventually dragged down by Uimana, and I think Sergio Gonzalez just wants to have a word.
I like him, by the way, Uimana. He's a nice little spark on this right side for the Virginia Tech Hokies that they haven't exactly figured out what they want it to be like in terms of the balance at the wingback position. But Uimana, two-way, good intensity. You mentioned the Philadelphia Union background for him in the YSC Academy. This is a spot that, whether it's Uimana, they also had Mason McClendon in there, but more importantly, Isaiah Bird, transfer from the University of Virginia. That's a no-no, by the way, Virginia to Virginia Tech.
Yeah. There's two of them, too. Andy Sellens did it as well.
They crossed the picket line.
They really did.
But, Brizendine recognized the talent, but it gives you an idea of what's available to him at such a young player in Uimana in his freshman season, because you got these guys coming from a storied program in the University of Virginia, and all of a sudden, Uimana takes over that starting spot within the 11. Very impressive.
Subachan, the freshman, looking for Georgalides. Tried to play it back. It goes off Drennan for a corner. Drennan apologizing to a young fan as he almost booted it right off a young kid. And Sergio Gonzalez may card him for the call it time wasting, kicking the ball when it went out of play.
Some frustration for the center back on the backside of things. Notice the diagonal, you get turned around a little bit here. Would like to have seen Vesterholm come back over instead of Drennan coming out of the middle, and he apologizes. Good for you. Well done.
Outswinging ball headed, and Guerra couldn't keep it down. That was actually Carter Hensley, my fault there initially, that got the card and was making the play in the box there.
Hook my guy up with a souvenir. Ball boy in the back,
yeah.
Right? I mean, he's taking one for the team.
Step by Vesterholm. Back to Kenua. Vesterholm again. The Elon transfer, driving forward.
Ball.
Lays it off to Quill. Cross. Roche is there, but couldn't make contact. And there's appeals for a penalty by some of the Hokie players to Sergio Gonzalez. He's having none of it.
Great build, though. And again, the success for this team coming right down through the spine with Mayola Kenua a little bit deeper on the right-hand side. You find Marco Vesterholm, and just watch his head, always on a swivel, the quick turn. Notice he's got the pressure right up over the top, splits right in between it. That positive touch into the negative space that brings it through. It drives separation between Josh Jones and Mason Tatafu on the back line. That enables all of a sudden the back post run to open up, and a little bit easier, not easy, but easier to step into.
Any legitimacy with the penalty claim there? Mike Brizendine wanted it as well.
There's not enough in it, but it does give you a blueprint. So we've already seen about 5 minutes in this Virginia Tech team, although down 1-0 now, we've seen them have some success on the width. Now they understand that if they get wide and don't have possession, you can come through the middle because you've got such an aggression by the outside backs in Quentin Elliott and Jardencho from Louisville. They're going to commit and they'll chase you, but that just means there's more space. So they come out wide, you've got space in between the two center backs, you attack down Route 1.
Dave Bakuzo called for the foul, the sophomore, making his 10th start of his career, part of the Orlando City academy. Logged a number of games with the OCSCB team in USL. His younger days. Well done by D'Argento. Transfer from Bowling Green. Subachan. Try to take on 2 defenders, and he won a throw.
The chance, though, just prior that ended up with the young man on the backside getting knocked around a little bit. Remember I said to you I would have liked to have seen Vesterholm come? That's exactly what Theo Drennan was talking about, where he doesn't have to come out of the middle. Once that's the center of the 3 goes, you're in trouble because the entire back line can break down. Instead, Vesterholm recognizes he can help out De Silva, and they go 2v1.
Rode working on De Silva. Tries a little dink pass. Veneritis, though, knocks it down. Josh Jones, 6'5" frame on the move to bring it down. He's charging into the midfield and dispossessed by Roche. He's got Quill ahead. Plays Quill, and he could take it first time. He doesn't. And just kind of played it toward the middle, but nobody was home. A quick transition. She shot that?
I don't know why I didn't try and chip him.
Yeah.
I mean, that had FIFA highlights written all over it. Good step there.
Veneritis, good steal. Quill on it again. Got Roche in the middle. Bodies down. And Jones going to call for the foul. Is it just a foul? Is the question as Sergio Gonzalez walks over there. And Gonzalez will stop the match here and may need some treatment. As Declan Quill is on the deck here, junior from Virginia, 2-time All-State player, was the Gatorade Player of the Year his senior year. And they may be preparing a sub. Quill says he's okay. Quill's up on his feet. Take a look at this opportunity here.
Oh, just right now, he gets a half peek over the shoulder, trying to figure out where he wanted to play this. Now, there's a run coming for sure, but it's very late from Ali Roche. With Alex Fetnoff that far off his line, why not? Well, we mentioned you didn't necessarily know how many chances you were going to get. That half, 3/4, 25 yards out, though, with the goalkeeper backpedaling. I'm taking that opportunity.
I'm not sure he watched the Bayer Leverkusen game today. Benfice tried to chip from about 60 yards. It was not a chip, it was like a line drive just north of the goal. Kenua to take it. Low ball driven in and go out for a corner. Second of the match for the Hokies. Vesterholm trots over there. Had some success in his career at Elon, was part of that 22 NCAA tournament team. Comes over to Virginia Tech, has started all 6 matches in a Hokie uniform. It's Uemana to take it. A lot of traffic around Svetnov. Whipped in, doesn't beat the first defender. Veneritis brings it down. Pass intercepted by Georgalitis. Potential, oh good, just not quite enough on it to Elliott to set him through, but he maintains possession and then turns it over promptly. Good feet by Vesterholm. Bodies everywhere. And 2 Hokies are down. Sergio Gonzalez actually going to pull it back to where Vesterholm was fouled. Fifth foul of the match committed by the Cards. 3 so far for Virginia Tech. Subachan, slaloming run. He's got Guerra ahead. Plays Guerra, but well read by Drennan. What do you want to see there? As you were gesticulating.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, but I wanted to see them make that move right there. Come all the way across the field. The problem is Well, Nilton De Silva doesn't have it on his favored foot, so he does take the easier option in terms of the 5-yard ball just in front of him. But by allowing them to go around the backside defensively, you let Louisville get over there faster. So, slower, but it ends up closing it down. If you ping that ball first time, get it on the preferred foot, standing, hit a 35, 40-yard ball. Now all of a sudden you've got a one-on-one with open space on the right flank instead of defensively where all the Louisville players are in front of you.
De Silva dispossessed Jorgalitas, but Sergio Gonzalez says there was contact first. Brizendine doesn't like it.
I don't like it either. I don't blame him. It's a good move by Nilton De Silva.
De Silva, the junior from Brazil, started every game in 2021, played every minute in 2022 except for 22 minutes. Number 4 in white is a stalwart on that back line. He's on the road to play it in. Second in the ACC last year with 8 assists. Ninth all-time, 15 assists in his career. Scott Jones making that run. But they head it out. It's opportunity, Jorgalitas, swing and a miss. All right, as we cross into the bottom of the hour. Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff here from Louisville. Cards number 5 team in the nation up 1-0 behind a Quentin Elliott goal in the 6th minute. Virginia Tech now makes the first sub of the match. Marcos Esco joins the fray. Talented young man, the freshman from Costa Rica. Joined the club in the spring, got all the spring games in. This could be problems. Trenton's able to get rid of it in time. Esco came in for Quill. Bakuza working. Esco, first touch, charging forward. Shot right into the arms of Svetnov. Esco scored 1 goal in the season against Davidson in their 1-1 draw.
Well, we mentioned earlier the great players that Mike Brizendine has had at his disposal over the past couple of seasons. Danny Flores, who just a part of the program now with Sporting Kansas City. Danny Pereira, the #1 overall pick in the MLS Super Draft in 2021, leading the midfield for Austin FC in Major League Soccer. He feels like Marcos Esco could have something special, and that he's a guy he's a game changer. He's got a little bit of everything. He's tall at 6'2". He's got the speed, run like the wind is what Mike Brizendine alludes to. But he also says that he's probably not a 4-year guy, especially if he harnesses that capability. It's someone that you have to take advantage of now. He's got a goal to his name so far through 3 appearances, but the relationship, more importantly, between Ollie Roche and how that develops is going to determine that success.
Ethan Ballack just trots on for Carter Hensley. Ballack, one of the goal scorers last year. Speaking of goal scorers, Gage Guerra, 5th in the nation, almost on the ball there to score. He's got 6 in the campaign. And that 2-1 win here last year for Virginia Tech. Ballack was one of the goal scorers. He opened the scoring of that match. Guerra's been pretty quiet. Is that about how the game has played out or what Virginia Tech has done?
Virginia Tech has sat back defensively and has really said to Theo Drennan, Grant Howard, and Nilton De Silva, stay. A lot of times you'll see them spread wide, but then all of a sudden you've got more space to close in those 2 gaps between the back 3. So they're just sitting there and they're willing to concede some of the possession in the wide areas because centrally they've stayed tight. I look now that for Virginia Tech, though, in that argument, you start to go the other way. The addition of Ethan Ballack, he's going to change things here because he gives you the freedom with Vesterholm and Kenua to rotate more. He's so good playing in the number 10 attacking midfielder spot, but he can drop into an 8. And Marcos Esco, who likes to be in a hold-up position, now all of a sudden, you're not looking at 1 or 2 guys. You've got 4 separate players that you can play through in the central locations.
Jorgalitas. Svetnov. He was challenged, the goalkeeper, minute into the match. Made a big save, and then Quentin Elliott went and scored 5 minutes later. That's where we're at right now, 1-0. Mason Tatafu stepping forward in the midfield, finds Subachan dispossessed. Good feet by Ballack. And he goes down in a heap and draw the foul. This is week 2 of ACC men's soccer in terms of conference play. Take you around the conference real quick. North Carolina up 1-0 against Notre Dame, number 10 ranked in the nation, Notre Dame right now. Carolina scored a goal through Martin Fichian, the 34th minute. Pitt and BC are tied at 0 in Chestnut Hill in the second half. And Clemson is now up 1-0 through an own goal in the 19th minute over Duke, number 8 team in the nation. Turnover here, an opportunity. Sample charging forward, not the right decision. He's dispossessed. Clemson has had a bit of a year where they've struggled. They were picked to win this. Svetnov way off his line. Picked to win the conference. But they've struggled a bit to gel, and now Duke, the number 8 team in the nation, though they have them down at home. That would be a big win for Mike Noonan and the Tigers. We'll be in Wake next week for the Clemson-Wake game here on Friday night. Roche turning, looking to lay it off for Ballack. Kenua, Vesterholm can't get it out from under his feet. And able to maintain possession, though. Still Vesterholm. Cuts it back. Roche was there, got a foot to it. High volley there from Ballack. Rowe checks his shoulder, sees no, bodies go down. Subachan and Feneritis collided. Feneritis is still down, rolling around. We'll see if Virginia Tech plays it out. Their teammate is down, and Sergio Gonzalez will stop it. We'll try to get an angle on that off the ball.
When he was tracking back, it looked like the paths just collided. Watch as he comes back over. Not there. It's the second one. There. Ooh. Does he reach out and kick? Or did he just step through?
Yeah.
Difficult angle.
It's tough to tell. It didn't seem like anything intentional from Subachan, but Sergio Gonzalez can look at this if there was violent conduct, and that's what he's going to do.
I think he reaches at him a little bit.
No.
I'm not sure it's an outstretched kick, but I think he reaches at him a little bit.
Well, this is part of what can be reviewed. ACC has 3 more experimental rules in league play. This is not one of them. This is a rule from previous years where you can take a look at potential violent conduct. So that's what they'll do here. And Subachan, the freshman, remember, get his first ever start. Florida product, Orlando City SC. Played some U.S. national team camps under 19.
Oh, see, that's tough. That's really tough because the way that he's stepping, he's supposed to step down on that foot. So you can't necessarily blame him. What's interesting, though, is that there looks to be real intent as he gets up, like fire in his eyes. I'm going to go after the contact that just happened. But he does start to recover to come to the outside and track the runner. 50-50. That's a rough one.
And Sergio Gonzalez, we'll see what he does here. This gives a break in the action for everybody. And it seems like he's going to consult the 4th official.
Again, just watch that left foot right there.
So Gonzalez having a talk with the 4th official, Chad Collins, now. His headset is off, and now he's going to bring 2 coaches in. So it's going to be a double yellow card, we're being told. So that'll go to Feneritis and Subachan. Obviously, these league games, a little different, a little more intensity, a little more fire. So much on the line. Both these teams on 1 point right now in league play.
Credit to the referee, though, in this situation where he's stopped the game, said, okay, he's gotten some information that maybe I need to go take a look. He does, walks through the sequence, says, okay, I just want to make sure I'm getting this right here, brings the 4th official over, has the conversation with both coaches, a nod of approval, and now presence for both players on the field.
Right. Nobody, who doesn't like it? You get a yellow card. You get a yellow card. But Sergio Gonzalez, veteran official, well adjudicated, and now we're back to action, or will be shortly. De Silva with the big switch, looking for Uemana. Georgalides wins the second ball momentarily. Ballack pings it out to Feneritis. Early ball curled in. Uemana will arrive, gives it a whirl, and goes out for a corner on the deflection. Third corner of the match for the Hokies. Feneritis take the corner. In swinging ball, headed out by the big center back Josh Jones. Can you, his pass is going to leave something to be desired. Esco flicked on. Floated back post. De Silva's arriving. Second shot saved by Svetnov. And De Silva's down. Crossed in, still alive. De Silva's still down behind the goal, and that ball goes into the Louisville Knight. And Alex Svetnov, the sophomore keeper, veteran of USL with Indy 11, made a couple big saves in this first half to keep this thing at 1-0. And the junior De Silva down into pain.
That's not easy either, because this is all down to the flick on the back post. Comes all the way back through. Defensively, you go to set yourself because you feel like the 50-50 is going to be won, or at least come back towards the middle instead. Really good job on the back post flick by Ethan Ballack, and now you're trying to reset yourself. You're tracking one way. D'Argento has to come back to the other. That's just on Alex Svetnov of making himself big, tracking the ball, and making an excellent save on the back post. You know, no matter if you're a defender, attacker, who's ever put in that position for Virginia Tech, you know that that contact's coming too, that there's going to be something in front of you. You have to sell your body out to try and make a play here. And Nilton De Silva, if not for a great move by Alex Svetnov in goal, you're looking at a 1-1 game.
It was hard to see. It was almost like when De Silva went to make the to shoot it, he'd already kind of tweaked something. Yeah, something wasn't right when he went to make the contact, and he is struggling right now.
That's just such a good flick again for Ethan Ballack. Well done. And see, he knows all the space, but now you've got defender tracking in one, and almost like his left knee when he plants and comes down. Right there, that just
not right.
And then as you're moving to your left, the leg buckles a little bit. He also recovers and then tweaks it sideways to actually get a strike off.
Man,
such a piece he is for this back line. You hope he's all right. This is just precautionary right now.
That is a bummer. The senior from Brazil, Montverde Academy product, sends so many great players across so many sports to our great colleges in the ACC as well. And as he limps off, I hope he's okay, and it's not a serious injury, but it does not look good right now. And Willie Cardona is going to come in his place. South Carolina native, the junior. Spent a lot of time in the Red Bull Academy. Just transferred from Winthrop. It's Big South all-freshman team. Well done by Esco, but he turns it over. Gage lays it off for Rode. Hits it out to Damian Barker-John, who just joined the fray. Barker-John is in, as well as number 7, Brandon McManus. Gage can't control it. Barker-John replaced Georgalides. McManus replaced Subachan.
This is what they have. Again, it's just a wealth of riches on the attacking front for this Louisville team that now has 7 different goal scorers on the season. Friendly reminder.
Here, a nice turn.
Just 6 games in.
Yeah. D'Argento plays it to Bacuzzo. Back heel. McManus, turn shot, save Timmy Adams. Well done, but well saved.
A reminder that they've switched from Connor Jordan-Hyde, who, although he's been here since 2018, only had 8 reps under his belt. Timmy Adams has taken that. Just notice how good the positioning is from the 6'7" goalkeeper. Mike Brizendine, the head coach, says that he can just do other things because he's so tall and it's special. This isn't because of height. This is because of the understanding of where the ball's going to move, how they're going to play off of each other, and that if he gets on that near post, he can either block the shot or if the ball comes back across, he can shimmy himself over and make a save.
Uemana switched sides of the field. Now he clipped Argento there, and Uemana now said Gonzalez said, I warned you before. The freshman goes in the book. So Uemana comes to this side. Looks like Cardona now is playing that right wing back spot. Sander Road tries to restart it quick, and they're going to pull it back. McManus, the Kentucky transfer, can't bring it down, but Feneritis called for a foul. This will be a chance for Road to play it in.
There's a vibe with this guy.
I mean, the DJ's working hard
DJ.
right now.
I respect it.
I mean, every dead ball, he's ready to go.
There was a DJ when I was in high school. The guy would take music and they would play Chopped and Screwed during the game. So it was like popular songs that were slowed down and mixed up. It threw me off as a player. I was just kind of paying attention to that, cruising around instead of focused on the game.
Not locked in. I can see you being a terrible dancer. Are you trying to get it? You trying to get it in?
Shocking.
Sweet.
Still am.
Road, play it in. Low ball. Might fall. And foul called on McManus. Andy Sellens checked in, 15 in white. Sophomore UVA transfer. Kanyua out to Uemana. Skips it by D'Argento. He's got a number of options in the box, but too close to Sventnov.
They just seem out of sync, Louisville. Everything feels like, you're getting 50% of the way there, 75% of the way there. No combination from Sander Road and any of the front line. Really, how's that tackle? Watch out.
Parker John, holy moly. And that'll be a yellow, and rightfully so. Sophomore from Queens goes into the book.
Even though he's come off the bench, this is what happens, especially as an attacker. You get frustrated because you're the number 5 team in the nation. You score early. You think, okay, here we go. Floodgates are going to open, and it just hasn't gone their way tonight. I mean, credit to Virginia Tech, who have certainly frustrated them. But, again, every single motion that they're chasing right now just seems out of their reach, and that frustration starts to boil over. You get outside of your comfort zone in a bad way.
The game seems to lack rhythm in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Virginia Tech's not going to be upset about that.
Yeah.
The fact that, the rhythm is all based for Louisville.
Yeah.
Because Virginia Tech, they're built as a team. They can strike at will. They have no problem sitting back, letting this thing go side to side. It's mostly done that.
Guerra tries to dink it by, but Grant Howard is there. Adams touch a little heavy, and he'll get rid of it. Elliott's header finds the feet of Barker John. Bakuzo playing McManus. He goes down, looking for a call. Not going to get it.
behind him. The question is was it a little bit of contact, or was he actually holding his jersey? Beautiful from Louisville. That movement right down through the middle. Nope. Again, the angle that you and I have, we're right behind him, and looked a little bit more in real time than what you just saw in replay.
Sergio Gonzalez wise to it. He's officiated quite a good game here so far. Ballack checks his shoulders, got some room. And Sample just muscles him right off the ball. It's a quick update from around the conference. South Carolina still up 1-0 over Notre Dame. Now into the 80th minute. Pitt, number 17 in the nation, on the road to BC. Never easy to play at Chestnut Hill. They're now 0-0 still in the 79th minute. As Svetnov has the ball on his foot. Now up to the second half. It started 52nd minute. Clemson still up 1-0 on Duke through an own goal in the first half. And Sergio Gonzalez is now going to toss out a yellow for D'Argento. We got a lot of guys. We got 6 yellows right now.
He's letting them play, though. I mean, he's definitely given them a leash to play with, but when you do it the first time, the second time, the third time, it's certainly in from behind with a little nod of approval from Gaetano D'Argento and forced the referee's hand.
Bowling Green transfer, played for Coach Sean Tepin, who's now on the bench with John Michael Hayden. Good relationship, brought him over. Guerra, the transfer from Army, last year's Patriot League Offensive Player of the Year, back-to-back ACC Offensive Players of the Week he's under right now. His pass, though, doesn't connect. Well done. Sample plays it back to Tatafu. Tatafu playing the channel to Gage, but he can't control. Esco can't quite bring it under his control. Road trying to dig it out. Gets a cross off, but nice reverse pass by Cardona. Out to Howard. Sullins looking for Ballack and can't get there. Axel Alejandre gets ready to check in the match for Louisville. Senior, transfer from North Carolina. Chicago, Illinois product. He's appeared in every game this season off the bench. Places Dave Bacuzzo.
It's a standard move for John Michael Hayden in Louisville. Get fresh legs in there, and importantly, give a little bit of help next to Bradley Sample right now. One of the areas they're struggling is maintaining some of the overall presence within the center spots on this field, because we've seen a lot of the outside backs. Hewitt, Gaetano D'Argento, certainly the goal scorer, and Quentin Elliott. But if you notice, as they come forward, it's almost like they build, they come wide, and then lack the ability once the first option breaks down to step on it and then find another avenue to go through. That's going to come on the guys in the midfield like Bradley Sample, Alejandro the substitute, and certainly Sonder Road, who is, unfortunately for him, he's just struggling to find any sort of passage of play through him.
He's on it there. Good tape by 10 by Gage. He's got McManus. Oh, what a recovery run by Howard, but it's not over yet. Him and McManus still battling, and then he's called for the foul. Well done by Grant Howard, the veteran. Sophomore played most every minute last year. Led the team in minutes played as a freshman.
How's this ball, by the way? It's just not weighted enough. You got to put a little bit more on it. If you sting this with your instep and let it skip a bit further, that allows Brandon McManus to run onto it. Instead, notice how it just slows down? That's some kind of run by Grant Howard, all the way from the far side of the back three, one-on-one. Friendly reminder, coming in 7 of the 11 in the starting 11 tonight for Virginia Tech. Underclassmen, Grant Howard, one of them, a sophomore.
Out to Uimana, another one of them, freshman. Kenua looking for the switch. Out to Cardona. Ballack. Ballock's got space. He'll try to place it. And gets headed out for the fourth corner of the match for the Hokies.
He's certainly been impactful. Ethan Ballack, the freshman from Colorado, just playing down underneath. Saw him in MLS Next Tournament a couple of seasons back with Real Colorado. More advanced, less pressure on him, though. Don't tell him that in this ACC game.
Ball whipped in. Josh Jones there again. 6'5" frame, ever present in the box. Kenua whips it in. Gage is able to clear it out. Let's try again. Argento in the foot race, and contact there with Vesterholm. And easy call. Vesterholm arguing shoulder to shoulder. The Danish product. Grew up in the academies over there, went to Elon, transferred here to Virginia Tech.
Well, remember with the positioning that we just talked about, you add Ethan Ballack onto the field, and he's just in front of Marco Vesterholm. Kenua. I talked about how he was more advanced. He was the leading goal scorer for 2 straight seasons with his club team, but the roles here is different. So now that you drop a bit deeper, you don't have to be the guy. More so, you've got to be that link-up player, and you're just seeing a bit of a disconnect. These are the growing pains that you go through, though. So much talent, but young, trying to find a way to take all of that and say, okay, this is what you were, this is what we need you to be.
Yeah.
That's very difficult for a person to do that, yet alone a young man who's 18 years of age entering the collegiate world.
Ball stayed in, skipped on the line. Over to Howard. Alejandre pokes it out. Coming up at halftime, we will preview the Syracuse-Wake Forest game. That is a huge one tomorrow night. Also, we'll look around the conference. See what Devon's learned 1 game into the ACC season. Dangerous ball played in! It's 1-1! Andy Sullins, the transfer from, UVA, equalizes for Virginia Tech.
This is what happens. You don't take advantage of your opportunities early on. You back off the game. You lose the overall plot, and you allow such a talented team in Virginia Tech to just hang around. Told you coming in, if you could take advantage of the wide areas, it was going to give you opportunities in the box. And with the switch of Uimana to the right, to the left, he's smart. He cuts this back, A, to get it on his favored right foot, but B, to allow the progression of his attacking units up top, namely Andy Sullins, who at 6'1" does such a good job of stopping on the half pivot and then attacking this ball to redirect it into the back of the net.
Huge goal for that young man. First goal he scored in a Virginia Tech uniform. He scored last year, one of his 11 appearances with the Cavaliers, but now with the interstate rival. Big time goal for a Virginia Tech team that's drawn 3 straight games, 1-1. They're on that scoreline now, looking for their first win of the campaign. Started the year with tough neutral losses against a good UCLA team and a ranked Duquesne team. And now this game has a distinctly different feel than it did just 5 minutes ago. Vesterholm. Good work on the ball. Looking ahead for Esco. They want to go up a goal in a break. And Tatafu ushers it out for the 5th corner of the match for the Hokies. Feneritis will trot over. Fifth of the match here in the corner kicks for the Hokies. Hipped in. Sample gets his head to it. Canua first time. Jones head to it. Esco trying to get on the turn. Drennan. Esco. Esco. And eventually ushered it out, crowded out. Kind of a wasteful ball there. And no call there, and that'll be it. We go into break, 1-1. Devin, your thoughts quickly on the first half.
No, that was certainly the great start for Louisville, and just, they struggled a little bit rhythm-wise, but this is a ton of talent who understand that come second half time, they'll have a real good opportunity. Credit to Virginia Tech, the character we talked about for Louisville against Syracuse. It showed bright here for Mike Brizendine. They struggled early, but they got back into this game.
And now we're joined by Louisville coach John Michael Hayden. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Up 1-0 until the dying embers of this first half. What do you make of the first 45?
We were poor. We scored early, and then we were poor.
In terms of things you want to see done different to have a better second 45, what needs to change?
Establish the possession a little bit more, right? Everything we're doing is trying to counter them, and we lose it, and because of that, they have good numbers higher up the field. And then they can hit us in the break. And I think if we can control the game a little bit more and keep the ball, pin them back, I think it'll be in our favor.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Yep.
Going to break here, 1-1. Louisville started strong, did not finish that way. When we come back, we'll take a look around the conference, give you the scores, and also what Devin has taken away from Week 1 in ACC soccer. And now we're back to mostly starters, it looks like, for this Virginia Tech team, with the exception of Willie Cardona now in at right back, and caused a reshuffle in the back three with De Silva out for the game. We're underway in the second half. 3 points at stake here, and a Virginia Tech team that looking for their first win on the season. Played a very difficult schedule, but as Mike Brizendine said, they had a lot of chance. They were in Louisville's box quite a bit, 5 corners. It wasn't a shock that they scored. Georgalitis trying to ride the challenge. He'll take the foul from Cardona. So, Dev, as we look, you heard what Coach Briz wanted to talk about. As Misha Yoshizawa is now in the game. You see him, number 9 in white. What do you think needs to change? You heard from both the coaches. What are you focused on in terms of adjustments for either team to walk away with 3 points here?
I agree with Mike Brizendine, and the way that the first half went, where they kept Louisville in front of them. When Louisville did come in transition, the good news was on the back line, they usually had 4 or 5 players behind the ball, so Louisville they didn't have the numbers to benefit them. So if you can see that route, that's fine. You can go and grab another goal from a set piece or on a counter from the run of play. Louisville's got to get on the ball more, and in situations like this, when the first method breaks down, you've got to give yourself second and third opportunities.
Garrow was trying to hold off the defenders, and Timmy Adams came off to grab the ball.
You can lack quality within a game, but when you start to lack the ability to attack in a different way, that's where things get predictable, and that's where it makes it easier on the opponent to track what you're going to do. That's what happened to Louisville in the first half. Everything came off the back line, 2 or 3 guys going in the other direction, and they lost their overall identity, which is ball possession side to side, unbalancing who's on the other side of the field.
Howard wins that battle. Yoshizawa pushed off the ball by Sample. Elliott, the goal scorer, can't maintain possession. Back to Theo Drennan. Cardona plays the channel. Looking for Quill. And Bryce LaBelle is now checked in the match. You see number 4 in red. He's replacing Mason Tatafu. LaBelle had started every game he'd ever played in a Louisville uniform until today. With Josh Jones getting healthy. John Michael Hayden one to go with Tatafu and Jones, but now they make a change. Cardona skips by Elliott, but Sample's right there. No call there. Quill uses his body well. Kenua, nice back heel. This is Tech's one of longer spells of possession all game. Kenua sees Uemana. Freshman can't maintain possession. Yoshizawa working hard.
He could be a game changer for this team.
Last year he had both assists when they won 2-1.
Freshman, all ACC freshman team, a guy who in 18 appearances had 2 goals and 4 assists, could have easily moved his way up the accolades if not for the brilliant play of some of the upperclassmen around. But he just, again, kind of the same conversation about Ethan Ballack. He gives you the ability attacking wise for a bunch of different looks, and so you can go left, you can go right. He feels comfortable underneath. Love getting him on this right hand side attacking back to the middle, though with Kenua and Vesterholm seemingly side by side at this point in time, would imagine he's going to operate more as a 10 at the start of the second half.
Sergio Gonzalez just a little war with Declan Quill after he pretty much tackled Quentin Elliott. Ethan Subachan back in the game, carrying a yellow card, the freshman. This could be an opportunity for a counter. The Hokies looking for Roche. Doesn't quite get there. Well done by Jones. Nice touch by the big fella.
He certainly doesn't run like he's just over 6'5", does he?
Nope.
He makes it look easy.
He's an all-state basketball player as well. He's a fantastic athlete. Jones, the Pennsylvania native. Here's Cardona, though. Cuts it back. Quill, first time cross. Opportunity for Yoshizawa! Skies it. That could have been the moment.
He tries to bring this down off his chest, and it just catches the upper right side of him. Possibly comes off the shoulder, and watch the spin that as it's whipped in, as he takes it down, the spin just gets away from him. And so he has to stretch a little bit further. He's trying to take the sting off the ball, so when it drops, it just comes naturally right into his path. Instead, he's got to cut back across it.
Quick restart by Rode. LaBelle. Sample. Georgalides. Guerra on the half turn. Finally plays it out to D'Argento. Kuzo. Elliott, the goal scorer, up to Georgalides. Well done by Cardona. And goes off Yoshizawa. Maintain possession for the Cards. Winding up for a long throw here. Elliott looking for the Jones. Sample pings it out to Elliott. He's going to get end line. Cuts it back. And that'll go into touch. A couple updates from the Duke-Clemson game. Duke now down 2-0. Clemson, through Tyler Trimnell in the 75th minute, doubled their advantage. Looks like Mike Noonan and crew are going to get a massive 3 points against a top 10 team. Again, Clemson started the season ranked in the top 10. They were the preseason ACC favorite to win the conference, not just the division. as picked by the coaches, have struggled to come together, but that really could be a kind of a turning point type of win to knock off Duke at home.
Welcome to ACC play.
Yeah.
Any coach will tell you that they feel that it's more difficult to win this league compared to putting a star above the crest in the national title. Combine them both together, and now you're talking about something really special.
Like Syracuse did last year, won the treble, won the division, won the ACC tournament, and then won the national championship. The only other ACC team to do that was North Carolina back in 2011 in Carlos Somoano's first year overseeing the Heels. Saunders Road to play it in, maybe. And now Wilby Road. Driven back post. Jones got his head to it and it went off a Hokie. Big 6'5" frame. He's had goals in big games. Scored the last 2 years against Syracuse. First start of the season, was dealing with the leg injury. Limited him in preseason and through the early part of this year, but there he is. Making his presence felt as Road gets ready to put it in. Floated. Bakuzo take it first time and no good. Tried to lay it off to Gage Guerra. That did not connect. Vesterholm. And the Cards player said they wanted that out of play. Didn't get it. A nice quick feat by Quill. And we may go on to another card here. Yes. Maybe not. Sergio Gonzalez. D'Argento is already on a yellow.
Watch underneath. Certainly, there's a foul. Maybe the ball goes over the end line, by the way, there.
Play over to Cardona. Lays it off to Kenua. His first touch let him down. He's trying to set up a shot, it seemed like. LaBelle will just get it out.
Just keep an eye on this right here. They're bringing Gage Garrett a little bit deeper. I like this look for Louisville because it shifts everything down underneath. It's not just the 9 up top in the corner.
Bakuzo trying to play Georgalitis. He's going to win the foot race. Low ball driven in. Howard is back, though. Why do you like Gage coming dropping deeper?
The shape changes in the midfield. So if he comes in, all of a sudden, he's a guy that you can play off of and not necessarily into or around. So he comes in, you have an extra point to play off of. More importantly, you can play with now one down underneath if you're Louisville and allow Bradley Sample to sit there while Bakuzo and Saunders Road come wide within the midfield. Or you can play with two and square it. Basically, you challenge the shape of Virginia Tech. And for a team that wants to be on the ball in Louisville, they've struggled a little bit.
Long throw. Skips in the box. Eventually pinged out. Headed forward, Timmy Adams, though, controls it.
I told you at the end of the day, this is about options. And for a team that is trying to find a way to just get on the ball more. And so even once you establish yourself as the dominant team and, okay, we're Louisville, we're on the ball, we're starting to retain more possession, we still have to have the ability to do something with it. You don't necessarily want to go side to side. Getting rhythm is one thing. Being efficient and being dangerous going forward is another, and that's kind of where they've broken things up so far.
Yoshizawa left it for Kenua. And Uemana wanted to play it in front of him. It wasn't. Vesterholm. Out to Uemana. Gets on that right foot. He's got 1 assist. Svetnov punches that. Seems like he could have caught it. Georgalitis looking for the pressure release. Gets it to Subachan. And Gage trying to maintain possession. He couldn't. Roche bodied off by Jones. And an errant pass. Guerra's able to pick it up. Finds Georgalides. Back to Guerra. He's got Rode to his right. Uemata making the run. Rode over the top. Headed down. And Georgalides was trying to get that back in the path of Subachan. Couldn't do it.
And notice the starting point once again, though. This is exactly what they want. They've got Gage Guerra deep within the midfield. He allows them to start to expand, so you play off of him. There's that little pivot we talked about. Sander Rhodes stretches off the shoulder of Bradley Sample, and you forget about the first run, the guy who started it all, and Georgalides. That's beautiful ball movement by Louisville. They don't get the end product out of it, but that's what John Michael Hayden is looking for.
Cardona. Vesterholm finds Yoshizawa in a little space. Yoshizawa! Again wide. He seems to be having an influence on this match.
Well, I mentioned to you that if Guerra comes, it changes you defensively. You can drop in and Sample and Bakuzo come side by side, but you lose some of the depth, and that allows Yoshizawa to just slip in. Remember, we mentioned to you we weren't sure where he was going to line up for Virginia Tech. Probably going to be an out-and-out 10, but at his best, it's on the right. Just off a half pivot from the center, challenging back to the middle. It's exactly what you get on that move from Virginia Tech going forward.
Kenua. Cardona's first touch let him down, and Elliott maintains control. Sample to Rode. Good turn by Subachan. Nicely done by Vesterholm, though. Subachan down in a heap, slowly getting up. Game getting stretched a little bit. Cardona making the run to the right. Errant pass by Kenua. Don't expect that from a two-time All-ACC player at different levels, third team and first team. I mean, one team has a 5 next to their name and is unbeaten. It's best start in the history of the program. The other team is 0-2-3 in Virginia Tech. It seems like Tech is more likely to score. It seems like Tech has been the better team the second 15 minutes of this half.
A friendly wager coming? Not that we're promoting that behavior, but well, I'll tell you, the way that the game is stretching itself, though, I would actually probably disagree with you.
So you think Louisville within transition is going to be?
They just the quality of play seems to be. Although Virginia Tech is advancing themselves for sure. Mike Brizendine has said that he wants them to be more clinical in the final third. We haven't really seen that from them in any of their games so far this season. But I do see the top level quality of Louisville pinging the ball back and forth, side to side, really starting to diversify what they look like going forward. They look dangerous, and though they haven't gone after Timmy Adams, they're slowly making their way up. More importantly, they've got confidence on the ball, and they haven't had that for the better portion of 50 minutes of this game.
LaBelle able to keep it from a turnover, but then turns it over. Kenua now in a transition moment. Plays Roche, cuts back to his right. Just wide again. Svetnov is furious. It was deflected out off of Jones. And the keeper is just letting his back line hear about it right now.
It is the same space, though. It's that 5 to 7 yard gap that you get in front of the back line and just underneath the midfield. Credit to Virginia Tech, because whether it's Bakuzo and Sample side by side, or if you rotate out, notice the top of the box. There are just so many numbers coming here. So even on the half cutback, it's a good look on the outside from Virginia Tech.
Connor Pugh checks in, the senior, Coastal Carolina transfer. Scored 6 goals for Virginia Tech last year. Ball floated in toward the back post. And Louisville also had a player check in. Xavi Wences, 14 in red, joined the fray. Turnover in a dangerous spot here. Deflected out for another corner. And Wences came in for Sander Rode. Gave him a bit of a break. Wences, the junior from Mexico City. USC upstate transfer Wences is. Grew up in the Pumas and Santos Laguna academies down in Liga MX. Jeez, doesn't beat the first defender, Georgalitis. And Svetnov controls.
That always gets me, by the way, how in the American language, how we're going to interpret how to say it. For instance, some people say, and I'm with you, Liga MX. Some people say
I should have said Liga MX. I don't speak Spanish.
But it's funny, but we don't say Serie A.
Yeah, I know we don't.
Say Serie A,
right?
right?
And Ligue 1.
Ligue 1.
There you go. It's about as...
Not Ligue 1.
Not Ligue 1. That's a good point. Trying to be, native to the
You're
language.
cultured, man,
Oh, that is
it.
untrue, but thank you. Bryce LaBelle on the ball. And turned over back to Virginia Tech.
We'll say that even though, whether it's Georgalitis or Gage Guerra, Javi Wences in there, it says something to you about how John Michael Hayden feels about how the team's playing because he's taken Sander Rode off, and he didn't just take him off the field. Sander Rode came to the sideline. They kind of made eye contact, a little how do you do, and Rode sat right down on the bench. So not even a conversation at this point in time as to what he's expecting out of his captain.
Yoshizawa. Yoshizawa wanted that play in the channel. They played it backwards. So we can restart here. Oh, Yoshizawa. And Jones not called for a foul there. Thoughts on that, center back?
I'm going to give him a little credit,
Part of the
Josh
union?
Jones, but I think you might get away with one here. I mean, there's not a ton in it, but there is contact.
He's 6'5". He threw his knee, went into Yoshizawa's leg.
See, my concern would actually be the hands away from the body. That
Okay.
maybe he politely asked him to remove himself from his feet.
There you go. Bell out to Georgalitis. Switch to D'Argento. Easy step there. And Pugh way off his line of Svetnov, but they couldn't get it to the feet of Pugh.
He's done well, by the way. Feneritis onto the back line. And they've played him up top on the front three, moving to the wingback position. Now within the back three that to start the game. Well, Nilton De Silva, Theo Drennan, and Grant Howard between the three. Only two had come off the field for basically 90 minutes all season, with Grant Howard being the only one who had not. When you have that type of consistency within your defensive unit to know that things are going to be stable and you frequent those spots, you understand everybody's tendencies. But when that changes, it changes the entire outlook. And certainly Feneritis has done a good job as he stepped onto that back line.
Bakuzo will make way for Axel Alejandre. The UNC transfer re-enters the fray. If you're new to college soccer, you can sub in the second half and then re-enter the match. So nobody's day is done here on their first exit. We're here in Louisville as we cross into 25 minutes left. Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff. The number 5 team in the nation went up 1-0 in the 6th minute of this match to Quentin Elliott, but with 2 minutes to go in the half, Virginia Tech, a team that is winless, currently 0-2-3, equalized. They played a very difficult schedule and looking for their first win of the season. It may have an opportunity with Yoshizawa. Couldn't control, but it was a good look. Quill. Wences, his pass is deflected. Vesterholm still holding his back after taking that shot. Cardona's cross overcooked. To the feet of D'Argento. Argento wants the switch, doesn't get it. Bell stepping forward in the center back position. Finds Georgalitis. Georgalitis getting on that right foot. Don't give it a go, but that's just right in the hands of Timmy Adams. Cardona skipping by Elliott. Yoshizawa working on Sample. And Sergio Gonzalez pulls it back, and there's Sonder Road and John Michael Hayden having a little conversation.
12 minutes has gone by on the clock, and it's actually the second time Sonder Road has been up with his manager. Just an idea, you know, this is the other thing that we have to remember, Dallin, is it's easy to sit here and talk about where they need to go, what they need to attack. These are still young men, and they're still growing as people and as players. And you know what you see at the professional game is going to be different than what you see here. That's not a bad thing. They're trying to find their way through life, and certainly on the athletic side, it's going to take time. When you're used to being, especially for some of the younger guys, the man, and your team has won everything. This is a different world. So to navigate that, it's not going to come without some setbacks for sure. And Louisville's just dealing with that right now, trying to find a way to make sure that all that talent and the great start that they've had, although it hasn't been great tonight, 22 minutes to go, great opportunity to still chase the game.
Grant Howard charged all the way forward from his center back spot. It goes out of play. Road will check back in. Yoshizawa comes off. Ethan Ballack, 20 in white, checks in. As does Andy Sullins, 15 in white, the goal scorer for Virginia Tech that gave him the 1-0 lead. Now, Gage Guerra, he's going to make way. Their leading talisman, 6 goals in the campaign, 6 goals in his last 4 games, too. He'll get a quick break here. I assume he's going back in. He did get the game tying goal late. And now Subachan's coming off the field. They still haven't got their correct 11 on the pitch. Now they do. McManus checks in for Subachan. And Kenyua with a big switch. And as we look around the ACC, the Duke-Clemson game is final now. Clemson and Mike Noonan's crew getting a 2-0 lead, 2-0 win. Andy Sullins, man, nose for goal today. As soon as he checks in, the transfer from UVA couldn't keep it down. But
the way that the ball's played, just coming across him, as he gets stuck up underneath him. Good job by Andy Sullins to be able to recover and get anything off. And just keep an eye on this left-hand side. Sonder Road, different position here that they've moved him in front of this attacking unit that has really become a front 3. Now he's on the left with McManus central, and Georgalitis has gone on to that right-hand side.
so Pitt and BC finished 0-0 up in Chestnut Hill, 1-1 with Duke and with North Carolina and Notre Dame. And the lone win for the day so far is going to be Clemson over Duke. Syracuse at Wake tomorrow, top 20 matchup. You can see that on ACC Network Extra or the ESPN app. Also NC State on the road at UVA on tap tomorrow as well.
Tell you what, that young man right there, Bryce LaBelle, for a guy that started every game of his collegiate career, bench tonight, and the choice of Josh Jones to step in, he's done really well. He's come off and he's been great in one-on-one. He's had to track a ton speed-wise with Willie Cardona.
He was New York Red Bull product. Bryce LaBelle is This is junior year. He started every game, 52 for 52 until tonight. He would play their most minutes played each of the last 2 seasons. So that was an interesting and tough decision as Elliott turns it over to Vesterholm. Ballack on it now, looking for Pugh. Uwimana. He's got 1 assist on the day. Can he get a second? Ballack. Shot. Oh, Pugh. That was it. On a platter, just rolled to his feet.
Guess who? Uwimana again. The switch in the first half, when they took him from the right to the left, I was a little concerned that he wasn't going to be able to get it back across quick enough, but he's used it to his advantage. It's that little stop. He gets the half turn, comes back onto the right foot, and then comes back square across. Connor Pugh hasn't had a ton of minutes within this game, and so when you don't have that many chances, you don't necessarily feel like you've got the confidence in front of goal. It's lacking a bit, but really good build by Virginia Tech.
And Mike Brisendine's good, because he has said we've missed some sitters. We had some opportunities in other games. We got to capitalize. Whether they win this game or lose this, or say they lose this game or draw this game, that moment will be remembered, because that was a gift that Connor Pugh could not put away. Now Marco Esco now checked in, 10 in white for Pugh. Damian Barker-John, 11 in red, also entered the fray for Georgalitis, as we're under 17.5 minutes to play in this game. Elliott to Wences, who loses possession. Hoofed forward. Sullins beaten by LaBelle to the ball. Cardona looking for Esco. Oh, he couldn't control it. And he pulled down Sample for good measure.
Can I tell you that, am I wrong in saying that Andy Sullins, he reminds me of his facial expressions in his hair? David Luiz.
Ah, David,
the way that he runs,
Chelsea's
he's got that
center
smile.
back.
Yeah, and he's just, you know, he's always
flowing
happy
locks.
and just kind of cruises right along, explodes.
Also, David Luiz is good for a red card every about 5 or 6 matches. So Sullins, let's not do that.
And a free kick from distance.
And he definitely could tattoo some free kicks.
Yeah.
I believe he's still playing in Brazil, his native country. Svetnov kind of can't get underneath his feet. This could be a problem. Elliott, good job to maintain possession. Rode. Good flick by McManus. Back to Rode. Got Barker-John. He's got D'Argento, and then his pass is just short. Rode back on it. Blasted in. McManus chests it down. Ballack, one of the goal scorers last year when Virginia Tech beat Louisville here 2-1 in the ACC tournament. Ballack on it again, tries the 1-2 with Sullins. And Elliott almost ushered it out. It will go for a goal kick. And the DJ does his work immediately. Gage Garris had to check back in here. He'll come in for Wences. And Carter Hensley checks back in. Number 13 in white, the junior. He's carrying a yellow card, midfielder. He replaces Vesterholm. Long ball to the feet of Guerra. Well controlled. Whoa. Loses his defender. D'Argento going to play it early, and Cardona does well to shield it out.
Damian Barker-John did a really good job of getting a touch on him.
Oh, he did. Wow. Okay.
That's good work.
We'll set up with a long throw. Josh Jones comes forward. Let's see if that work by Barker-John actually pays off in creating an opportunity here. There's Barker-John, the sophomore from Queens. Elliott, the goal scorer, with the long throw. Looking for Jones. Chested down. Peels for handball, or high boot, I should say, and that's what it was.
We were discussing earlier how Mike Brizendine, the head coach of Virginia Tech, was so keen on trying to keep a clean sheet, right? But I don't know if you recall what he said at the beginning of the conversation was, well, we haven't lost in a while.
Sullins drives it.
That's another thing that adds confidence, right? Like, they certainly haven't gotten a win, but the loss department has subsided. They've kind of pushed that away where at least you have a little bit of belief that you can hang around in games, because eventually, regardless of opponent, that's going to come back to help you.
100%. You got to build some confidence. And bear in mind, those first two games, folks, they lost a combined 9-2 to UCLA. It's back to Svetanov. Ooh, not the best. They combined 9-2 to UCLA and Duquesne in neutral site games down at JMU. Quick throw in, Esco. Leaves it for Sullins. Pops it out to Uimana. Good control. Wants to get it back on that favored right foot. Ballack. Ballack eventually lays it off. And high, wide. Not very handsome.
Sent that thing to Indianapolis with the football team.
There you go. There you go. Feneritis.
Wrong sport, bud. Good showing tonight, but not the best of strikes from that young man.
Freshman from Cyprus. Finding Guerra on the channel, working with Howard on his back. Rode. Flips it forward to McManus. Jones back to Sample. Rode on it again. Jones coming forward. Alejandre. Alejandre again. Sample's pass does get there. Flicked back, D'Argento ridden off it. And foul called on D'Argento. He's struggling, and Sergio Gonzalez is going to stop play.
Good track back by Ethan Ballack defensively after the nice little move on the right side. You know, when you get frustrated in games, you start to go dig a little bit deeper and try and find a way to break down your opponent, though it's not as familiar this season for Louisville. Interesting on the right-hand side, that high line of D'Argento as he inverts himself. Saunders Road popping out of the pocket onto the right flank. We saw that a lot in 2022, and they've veered away from that this season because they have so many options going forward. They haven't had to chase that route, but that method over the past 2 or 3 minutes, something different. John Michael Hayden, he's trying to find familiarity for these guys with 10 minutes to go. See if he can get a game winner.
Remember, they got one late. In the 88th minute, they got a goal. Syracuse last weekend that gave them a 2-2 draw with the defending national champs on the road and gave them a point in their first ACC match of the season. By that man, Gage Guerra. 6 goals in the season, leads the conference. Bit of a quiet night tonight.
Beautiful weather, though, by the way.
Amazing night.
Lord. I mean, it's a
Bourbon Festival going on in town?
Wouldn't know. Didn't get that invite.
Not tonight. And we see D'Argento make his way off, and there will be a sub made. Parker Forbes is readying himself, but he will not come on. D'Argento chugs right back on the field to his right back spot. Forbes is still up, though. We'll see if he features. And Parker Forbes is getting ready to come in. We're under 10 minutes to go, and Sergio Gonzalez say, come on, let's go get in the game, and D'Argento will make way. Forbes, the redshirt sophomore from Texas. Scored a goal against Kentucky in that 4-2 win. His 5th appearance of the season. Guerra working with Howard on his back. Big switch from Barker John out to Forbes. His first touch, nicely done. Headed down to the feet of McManus. He continues his run. Early ball played in. And out to touch.
He had Forbes, though.
Yeah.
Why not just play the 5-yard ball in front of you? When frustration just continues to mount, sometimes the easiest route is right in front of you, and it escapes you. You start to dig to try and find that extra level when all you have to do is take one step. And Parker Forbes stepping in, he's going to feel comfortable because he and Philip Fredall, they split time as the starters on that right side last season. Philip Fredall injured, trying to make his way back into this lineup. Kind of impressive, by the way. Not kind of, it's very, that both Philip Fredall, starter, Josh Jones, starter, Ryan Troutman, their goalkeeper, starter, and yet still unbeaten through 5.
Yep. And Troutman's working his way back to health a little bit. Did train a little bit this week. The keeper was expected to be their #1, but Svetinov's done a great job. No midweek games for either team allowed them time to train, which is sometimes rare in college soccer. Games usually every 3 days.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice there.
Rare.
It's always rare. Misei Yoshizawa, #9, and White checked in the middle there for Ethan Ballack. Under 8 minutes to go. Kenua a little long on the ball here. Finally gets rid of it, gets it to Howard, and they'll pull it back for a foul call. Theo Drennan taking a while to restart this thing. Looking for Esco. They'll stay with, will not stay with the Hokies. Go to the Cardinals, and they'll make a couple more subs. Jorgalides comes back in, as does Subachan. So you've got your starting strike group, if you will, front 4 back in place. Subachan, Guerra, Rode, and Jorgalides. Seems how they will finish the match. Can they get a late winner? Can the Hokies get a late winner for their first 3 points of the season? DJ's got 2 tracks going on. There's really a lot happening right now.
The dueling DJs. It's the bonus addition to the app tonight.
Clearly. Yoshizawa. It stays in. He has some options. He could go it alone. Lays it off. Shot by Hensley. Couldn't quite get it in the right angle, but goes out for another corner.
A little surprise.
Their 8th of the game, sorry.
A little surprised that Carter Hensley doesn't try and hit this with precision on the right foot. Incredible run, and certainly the benefactor of a great bounce, but as this comes square back across, you hit this with your instep, you can actually use the ball to your advantage. You come across it with your instep, bring it to the far post.
Could play it short. I believe that's Feneritis wants it at the top of the 18. This is hit high. Drennan. Cardona Tries to whip it in. Oh, there's appeals for handball. And Sergio Gonzalez says, no, you feel the same way. We'll get a look at that as soon as we can. It sure seemed like it to me.
I would say it doesn't just hit his hand. It looked like the hand was away from his body, which is even more concerning. That's a handball.
Even if it hits his leg first and hops up.
See, that's where the rule.
They usually
it's the unnatural position off the deflection, which is where you see referees in the gray area, and that's the argument here. Catches him and then goes to the arm.
That's what Sergio Gonzalez is saying, maybe that they was made contact versus not the argument did it hit his arm, but hitting his body first. So Subachan does not get called for the handball in the box, which would be a penalty, and now here he is trying to get on the ball. We're under 5 minutes. Timmy Adams, the best distribution. Looking long, Svetnov way off his line. He wants to let it get in the box, and then he's upended. And now Roche stays down, but Louisville's going to play. Good distribution there on the throw. Oh, the bell cleaned out Quill. Must have had a flashback there. The distribution, the throw to 10. Thought we were in South Africa. It was the Landon Donovan. Could be on for the USA here.
Wrong side of the field. But
I know, it's far.
It's okay.
It was right, yeah. Looking for something here other than the DJ right now.
I'm sure either one of the managers would agree with you. They would give anything to grab the game winner right now.
Uimana wants to get back on that right foot. He does. Looking for Quill. And bodied nicely by Elliott for a goal kick. Really well done by the sophomore. And Sergio Gonzalez is going to stop the clock here while Kenua works on his shoelaces. Do we have a late winner? 184 seconds away from finding that out. And Svetnov just plays it right out into touch. Not the best. Cardona, who stepped in this match for Nilton De Silva. Center back, the veteran, injured. First half out for the rest of this game. Uimana. He's got Cardona on the switch. Doesn't play him. Looks for Yoshizawa. Excuse me, Hensley. Little 1-2. Cardona's got numbers in the box. Good delivery, but well done by LaBelle. Well, turned over. In a dangerous area. Roche, the freshman. The freshman! Could have been the game winner! Had a huge time on the road. Virginia Tech just has Louisville's number. Will it be 5 straight wins over the Cards?
You let a team that's searching for their first win, that knows they have talent, that have been from behind all season long, hang around. This is what happens. Careless on the backside. Yes, it's a giveaway, but nobody steps up in. As good as Bryce LaBelle has been, he should have continued forward there to try and get a tackle in. Instead, just great movement, side to side. That gets it to the talent. That's Ali Roche. We told you to watch him coming in. Pressure-packed situations, opportunities, goals, and he could be the game changer. Has he done it? With just inside 3 minutes to go for Virginia Tech on the road against one of the best teams in the country.
And how about that for the freshman? He's now scored in 3 of his last 4 games. He got the start again today, 3 straight starts, and rewards Mike Brisendine's loyalty in him by scoring in the 88th minute. And that would be one heck of a way to get your first win of the season. On the road, ACC win over the number 5 team in the nation. They've not beaten a top 5 team since 2021 when they beat UNC at home. And now Josh Jones, the center back, goes up top. We saw this last week against Syracuse. Pretty normal employed tactic by John Michael Hayden to get the center back up there going Route 1 football. Trying to get some knockdowns and play some second balls. Virginia Tech team's been knocking on the door. 3 straight draws. They led against UNC at home up until the 82nd minute. Can they hold on here for the next 67 seconds? Roche, the goal scorer, working hard defensively now. No foul call. Eventually a foul call. Then Alejandra. And Roche went flying. That's going to be a yellow for Axel Alejandre.
Now he's frustrated, and you got to feel it too here, because to be fair, it was a foul. He was asking for it. Foul there, still a continuation. That's still a foul. Referee doesn't blow the whistle, and then after he does right there, now Alejandre says, thank you very much, I'll out myself. And again, you're down 2-1. You're just trying to make a play on the ball, and it boils over. They still have it, though.
They do. It is their possession here. And because Roche looked like he received some treatment, he has to check out of the match. Andy Sullins checks in. The goal scorer sprints on the pitch. And it's a critical last 53 seconds here. Mike Brizendine has talked so much about defending. We need to get clean sheets. You're not going to get that today. But can you defend for the next 53 seconds? They conceded in the 5th minute. It's been a long time. They haven't given up that many opportunities.
Play to the goalkeeper, get it back here. Look at all the space that you've got to play. Give it to your goalkeeper, then give it right back to Sonder Road. That's exactly what I do.
They're telling him that now. Svetnov is up here, and Sergio Gonzalez is going through some conversations with guys in the box, telling them to keep it clean here. We'll see if that's what Rode does. Yeah, he plays it back to Svetnov, back to Rode, who's got tons of space. He'll advance it, and now he'll play it. Whipped in, headed out though. 45 seconds. Could try to chip the keeper. And Sample goes down hard. Clock is running. If you're Louisville, and Gonzalez stops it now because Sample is down. Sample struggling.
Well, he's going to have to come off as well with the trainers coming onto the field. And to be honest, and let's be really, really clear, you want to make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
The stoppage of clock does benefit Louisville. You and I were on, was that Pitt? Who did they play last? Oh, Pitt Clemson. Do you remember the end of that game last year? Pitt Clemson, there was a foul just atop the box. Pitt couldn't get there. Clemson standing over the ball.
Oh, that's right.
And the referee ended up letting the game end.
Expired.
And you know, the players didn't know what was going on. Again, you don't want that for Bradley Sample to be in a bad spot, but because he receives treatment, he's got to come off. You do get an attacker in Brandon McManus, but you get a stoppage of clock too with 30 seconds to go.
So now we'll see if Rode plays it in. McManus 7 checks in. Jones! And Adams makes the save. The clock will continue to run. Rode sprints to the corner spot. 25 seconds. We've seen buzzer beaters before. Are we about to see one now? Rode trying to get set up. Svetnov, the goalkeeper, is coming forward. It's 15 seconds. He gets it in. Headed down, cleared out. This could be it. Touched forward. Is it going to be 2-1 or 3-1? It doesn't matter. Virginia Tech gets their first win of the season on the road at Louisville. 4 of the last 5 times they've played Louisville here, they have won on the road. The goal did not count. 2-1 is your final. For those of you scoring out in Vegas, Devin Kerr, your thoughts as there is a dog pile in the corner, and rightfully so. This Tech team just seems to own the cards in this rivalry.
It's a statement victory. We said